What's going on, guys? This is Bruce Madsen, your host of the show. Don't have a name yet, but that's coming. But more importantly, I'm here to talk football, fantasy football, dynasty, Devy, rookie drafts, and everything under the sun. If you like that sort of thing, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you give me a like, and then let's go. Today, I'm going to be talking about Tylan Wallace, wide receiver from Oklahoma State. What I see from him, how he's going to be graded upcoming for rookie drafts, how people are going to value him, and how I feel. Just got done watching some tape. Literally, this monitor right here, grinding the tape, grinding the stats, metrics. I'm your guy. I'm going to help you out. And there'll be more videos about him to come. So this is just scratching the surface. I'm going to be talking about these players left and right, day in, day out, from now until August. And yes, I talk about NFL draft from August because you got to recap it too. You got to analyze it. So Tylan Wallace. There's a lot to cover about this guy. I feel like he's been slipping through the cracks because the torn ACL he suffered in 2019. Weird year this year. COVID and all. Not looking good. But he's been looking good. Just no one's been really paying attention to him. I've been watching watched film from just about all the years too, and there's a lot to like about Tylan. He's a good route runner. I don't think many people give him credit with how good he runs routes, how quick he gets in and out of his breaks. He's very smooth with his transitions. He's very cerebral. He knows how to sell his routes. It's different with every wide receiver. So route running is kind of like a Picasso painting, and it means different to different receivers because they win in different ways. And the way he wins is with suddenness, quickness, and speed. And he also has the ability to sell his routes as well, but he doesn't have to execute on that every single route because he knows he has the footwork, the speed, the quickness to just slip by guys. And he knows his speed is enough that when he is running down the field, that all he has to do is tuck his chin and act like he's running at full speed to sell a curl route, sell a hitch. That's all he has to do. And it's those little things that helps him out in the route running. He's good at just selling whether he's going inside, outside. He's good on all that. And what everyone sees from him, from the highlights, the film, the tape, is his ability to rise up. And it doesn't matter if he's contested. It doesn't matter how many guys there, animals or whatever. He's going to rise up, climb that ladder, catch the ball. Very, very strong at the catch point for his size. You're looking at a wide receiver that's listed at like 185 pounds and like 6 foot. Come combine time, we'll get more of a realistic numbers on that. I'm hoping he's a little heavier than that, but the dude's got speed, and the speed is impeccable too because once he gets the ball in the open field, he's gone. If he catches the ball and there's no one around him, he is dangerous, especially in the flat. If he catches a screen pass, that he's dangerous there. If the defense gives him any breathing room, it could be problems. And he could create a lot of issues, especially for defensive backs, especially defensive backs who are sleeping on him. You don't see him go against press too much. And there are instances where you see him get pressed or worked on, and he gets like moved into the sideline, creating less room for the quarterback to throw to. However, like his speed's so dangerous, it's dangerous for someone to press on him because like if you miss on that press or if he's able to get away quick enough, that could be it. It could be lights out. He's down the field scoring a touchdown. So he's not a player. There's risk pressing him. I don't think he's that great against press. Just from the few things I've seen from him, I've seen him get pushed entirely into the sideline before. However, when I see him get derailed, the one thing that I like that I notice that he'll fight his ass off to get back into play, to get back to the position where he's back to running his route. So he has some dog in him. He does have that physical nature. He doesn't have the attributes, the physicality physically to sometimes fend it off, but he has it mentally, or at least appears to be. He has it after the catch. He has it at the catch point. That's how he's able to come down with all those tough grabs when contested, and he, even though he gets derailed, he fights his way back. I like to see that. I don't think he can be a wide receiver 1 for an NFL team like the main guy, but I think he can be a good complementary piece. I think that's perfect for him. That's a perfect role. I think that's good enough for him to be relevant in fantasy. You don't have to be the top wide receiver in offense. Just because you're the complementary piece doesn't mean you're not going to be productive. And he has the skill set to be productive, at least on a volatile basis. Be realistic. That speed at least allow him to get to where he can be fantasy relevant on a volatile basis. He has that footwork, the route running to be more than that. And he has that my dog mentality where if you put him in the slot or you put him in the outside, that he has a chance to win. And I like that about him. I think he's going unnoticed. I think he's going to be a big value in rookie drafts going forward. I think he's going to be a big value during draft season. And his numbers are really cool, really good. When you stack them up statistically with some of the other wide receiver prospects from the past. He only has one 1,000-yard season. I think he's going to remedy that. Maybe this year. Maybe it's going to be close. We're wrapping things up. But from a market share perspective, everything lines up great. He broke out in 2018, age 19 season, pretty much, with a 37.06% market share of the offensive production. I mean, passing production. I keep saying offensive production, but it's passing production, which is really great. Really, really impeccable. 2019 dropped a little bit to 30.97%. But we do have to think about this point where only 25% of his targets were catchable. That's like second worst behind Jalen Reagor last year. And he also had that ACL tear. That's his age 20 season. And then this year, this is from like a week or so back when I ran the market share report for December. He had a 44.23% market share of the passing production. So he has a high ownership of the offense. Scored 12 touchdowns in 2018. Has 26 overall right now. Pretty solid there. Like, he's got the metrics production-wise. Has a 1,000-yard receiving season under his belt. So he does have the counting stats. He does have the ownership stats, the advanced metrics to letting you know that he's cut his teeth there. The tape checks out. There are some things that you want to be aware of, but it really depends on your expectations, though. If you're expecting him to be a true alpha wide receiver 1 for an NFL team, just hogging all the targets right off the bat, then you might be disappointed. This might be a slow burn for him. It might be quick, though. He may blow up instantly. I just think he needs a cast around him. I think he needs to be the number 2, maybe even number 3. I think he can be productive. Doesn't matter. We're playing fantasy. It doesn't matter where you're at in the depth chart. It doesn't matter. The NFL's different these days. They're passing more. They're throwing the ball around more. And he's going to get air yards because he can get deep. So that's pretty much guaranteed. If he's on the field, he's getting air yards. He's got the route running and the speed to get some targets. So it depends on the target share from there and the volume of the offense. And if he has good quarterback play, then that's going to help him out. I think he might be almost quarterback proof. Just the way he runs his routes, the way he is when the ball's in the air at the catch point, and the way he's able to have been productive throughout his career, and then how he had a high market share, good numbers in 2019 with bad quarterback play, with uncatchable targets coming his way. That's kind of gives us the indicator. It may not be, but I think he has the ability to have a long career in the NFL. He's going to be an older prospect. He'll be 22 at the draft, so not super old. It'll be in May, so it'll be right after the draft. So it'll be. He won't be super old, but it'll be old enough where people are going to take jabs at him at that. But I think it's fine. I think it's very fine. It's not exciting as like a 21-year-old prospect is or a 20-year-old, but it is what it is. He had to come back. He had the ACL injury. He had to come back. He had to continue to prove himself, even though he didn't really need to, but he had to prove that he was good after the ACL. So I understand. It was a good decision. He's playing well, and he looks good on tape. First round, I don't really see it. He could back half, second round, third round. I'm not here to guess rounds right now. It's December. I'm just watching tape on these guys. I'm getting a leg up. I'm months ahead of some of these people that you're going to hear on podcasts, Twitter, YouTube's talking about these prospects. I'm doing the work now. I'm going to be ahead, and I'm going to continuously do the work. The draft capital is going to be there. I believe he's going to be a top 100 pick. He could be one of those guys that slides to the 5th round. I don't know, but I feel like right now, looking at his numbers, watching him play, he easy top 100 guy. But I could slip. He could. I mean, we've seen Tyler Johnson fall. This is a deep wide receiver class that gets diluted. Guys drop when the field's deeper and more talented, so that's understandable. But I feel very confident he'll have decent draft value. We also have the combine to come up. I think he'll run well if he runs. You know how players are. He's got his size is a little bit an issue. Usually players at that size tend not to break out, but if he was just a little bit bigger, like 10 pounds or so, which isn't that hard to do with nutrition and all that, he could easily pass that threshold. And just because you weigh in at a certain weight at the combine doesn't mean you're stuck at that for life. Players go up and down. So if you're really calling a player 200 pounds because they weighed that 3 years ago at the combine, and there's something wrong with your process. You should just be eyeballing them, really, because that number's not the same. No one stays the same weight. Rarely, unless their diet's on key. 3 years down the road, it's either up or down or close, but at that same number. And at that weight, at that low percentage of body fat, if you're up 3 pounds, 4 pounds, that's a lot more compared to the normal person when it comes to muscular range and all that stuff. But Tylan Wallace is a good prospect. I encourage you guys to look into him more, to give him more of a chance when looking at him on film. I get it. We have the top guys that we're excited about: Jamar Chase, Devonta Smith, Rondell Moore, Rashad Bateman, all those guys, but we can't sleep on this guy. He could be a darling. Like the last class, we had our wide receivers stacked up. We liked a bunch of them, and Justin Jefferson blows up. No one had him at number 1, really. Maybe a couple guys, a couple people, but no one was really screaming for it either. No one was shouting off the rooftops. It never came my way, so if it didn't come my way, it wasn't loud enough. And if it wasn't loud enough, then you weren't shouting loud enough for him. So, yes. So you have to be objective when looking at a class like this, when it's deep with talent. Wallace is a guy. He's got a skill set that can make him productive at the NFL level. It's there. There's no lie to that. You can rank him wherever you want, but you can't argue that. He does have that skill set. If you're willing to rank Devonta Smith up really high, then you have to be willing to take a look at Tylan Wallace, because there's some similarities to these players' skill sets. I want to thank you guys for watching the show. It means a lot to me. We're getting ready to roll into Christmas. We're going to be rolling in January. Soon football season over with, and it's draft season. We're getting ready for the draft, and then this is when you guys are going to start really paying attention to me. And then here's when the randos will come in, starting dropping their draft analysis come February or after the combine. But you know I'm always going to be here, and I got your back. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another show. Make sure you hit that like. Help me out on the algorithm. Let people find out about me, you know? And I'll catch you next time with the next episode.